It's Saturday. We have got, well, in fact, it's already open. We've been open for 4 minutes, and this is the wonderfulness of the Owl About Yarn stand. Doesn't it look fantastic? I'm really pleased. It's come together super well. We've got loads more space this year with our new displays. Look at all the project bags. So much gorgeous fibre. So I think that's going to be absolutely fantastic. And I also wanted to show you, I'm wearing my Pavement jumper. Yeah. And if I sneak around, there's Jenny filming too. Here I just take you on a brief wander through one of the halls. There's 3 enormous halls in Wonderwool, and this one I end up right at the back end, and I show you a little bit of the Sheep Walk, which is a little fashion show laid on by the organisers of Wonderwool. And if you have a stand at the show and you sell garments or bags or accessories, you can find a volunteer to model your goods and then take a wander up and down the Sheep Walk. And it's one of my favourite things, so I thought I'd include a short clip at the end.
It is lovely to see so many of you people here joining us for our second Sheep Walk of 2018. We've rustled up some, we've rustled up some glorious volunteers to help us out. We've got some fabulous outfits to show you, and we really couldn't do it without the volunteer models. In fact, this entire show is like a fashion show. There's nothing I like more than watching people walking around in their own creations, looking so proud of the hard work that they've put in. So, you know, if you see someone looking amazing, tell them so. I saw 2 ladies today. They looked like human cupcakes. They were beautiful. They'd apparently never been referred to as cupcakes before, but they loved it. So we're going to welcome up our first model, and this is Helen from stand K1, which is the slow wardrobe. In fact, the model's own here, this is one of their creations. This is a pre-shrunk linen dress, 4 years old, you can't tell, and it has pockets. And Helen is wearing the play suit variation of the pre-shrunk linen, and this can be slipped on and off like a dress due to the handy zip. All I'm saying, useful, you know, when you're at a festival, you know, that zip to, you know, do whatever you need to do. There we are. Thank you very much. That is stand K1 in Hall 1. Thank you very much, Helen. And the next, oh, we found the paperwork. Next model, would you like to come up? And we have Mary. Oh, Mary, this is Helen's mum. This is a knitted cardigan. It is fair trade cotton, and the pattern is available from Woolly Sheets Stall, D1, and that's in Hall 1. The fair trade cotton comes in 14 colours. The bag is a crochet kit. All the wool is from the sheep of Pembrokeshire, Wales. All wool, kits, cotton and patterns are available from Woolly Sheep and are fair trade and ethically produced. Thank you very much, Mary. Thank you. And we have our volunteer, we've got Rhiannon, who is generously donating her time and her expert spinning skills. Would you like to step forward and give us a twirl? This shawl is a leaf and diamond shawl. It is hand knitted. It is from stand Spinspired, which is W11 in this very hall. It is 100% woolen yarn in a 4-ply. The unique lace pattern is designed by Anna and shown here in beautiful autumn colours. Thank you, Rhiannon, you're doing an excellent job. I see a bright career ahead of you. You can go with that this way. And next up we have another shawl from Spinspired. And what is your name, model? This is Alex, another volunteer. Her hand shot straight up when I asked for volunteers. And this is a blue lace square shawl. It is hand knitted in a 4-ply merino wool. The unique lace design is based on a traditional Shetland lace shawl. The large square shape makes a warm shawl or a great baby blanket. Thank you very much, Alex. Next up, what's your name? This is Elaine, and another shawl from Spinspired. That's their stand in this hall. It's W11. This is the paired leaf shawl, which is hand knitted in a baby alpaca yarn. The unique lace pattern designed by Anna. This version would make a beautiful wedding shawl. Here comes the rock.
It's the end of day one now, but I forgot to do a little introduction to an interview I'm going to show you now with Becky of the Riverknits yarn business. She kindly spared me 20 minutes at the end of the day for a quick interview and to show us some of the lovely things she has on her stand. So I will include that now and then sign off for the rest of the day. So I hope you enjoy the interview, and I'll film a bit more on day two. I've managed to steal some time with the lovely Becky of Riverknits Yarns. We're at Wonderwool, end of day one.
Yeah.
Survived?
Survived, yes. Thrived.
That will do.
Have you thrived? How about you? Have you thrived?
My feet are throbbing. I don't know if that's the same thing.
Thrived, same
start.
Some, yeah.
It's all good. In case my listeners haven't heard of you before, give us yourself a quick introduction.
Okay, so I'm Becky of Riverknits, and I live on a narrowboat, and that is also my studio.
We're going to get into that a bit later.
So I dye British wool yarns.
Excellent. Just you?
No, I live with my husband, surprisingly, and he is definitely part of Team Riverknits.
So it's both of your full-time work?
Yeah.
Excellent. I just wanted to, if you could give us a quick introduction to how you started knitting and why you ended up becoming a yarn dyer, because it hasn't always been your full-time work, has it?
No, it hasn't. So, like lots of people, I started knitting. My grandma taught me when I was little, and I did bits here and there all through childhood, and then probably coming up to 10 years ago I discovered Ravelry and wool rather than acrylic. And yeah, just the wealth of patterns and techniques out there really kind of caught my imagination, so got into knitting in a big way.
Had you had a break, or had you always done a little bit and then discovered a passion for it?
I'd done little bits, so there'd be like long stretches of not really doing anything, and then knitting some rubbish scarf with some really rubbish yarn from Hobbycraft.
Yeah, I made some of those.
Yeah. You know, the ones that get wider as you,
unintentional
lace. Because you've done it with a boucle or snowflake chunky or whatever. It's that horrible stuff.
Yeah, squeaky.
Yeah, stuff like that. So, and of course you end up taking a break because it's so horrible.
Yeah, it does just put you off, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, but Ravelry, finding really great yarns to knit with, and then I went down the spinning rabbit hole as well. Oh, okay. Which gives you a really good understanding of fibre and breeds and differences there as well, and that just feeds back into the knitting. So that's how I got into knitting. For the actual dyeing and business side of it, it was kind of a case of stars aligning in a sense that I was already living on the boat. I was working full-time as a mechanical engineer.
Okay.
A bit different. And Marcus was also working full-time, big, high-flying, high-stress job type thing. But I had in mind that I wanted to work in that way until I didn't have to, because living on the boat's quite simple living. You don't need to earn a big salary. And also, doing something like this gives you the ability to travel around and spend time doing more of
travel around very slowly at
4 miles an hour.
At 4 miles an hour.
Yes. It's the slowest tour of the UK.
I can imagine, inch by inch.
Yes, pretty much. So I was on maternity leave with Bryn, who is now 2 and a bit, and the company I was working for was making redundancies, so I volunteered for redundancy. It just gave me the kick to really give it a go.
Give it a go.
Yeah, so I'd done little, bits dabbling with dyeing, and that was just the last incentive to do it. So.
The final push.
Yeah.
And is the mechanical engineering coming handy when trying to repair the boat? I've seen stories on Ravelry about repairs on the go.
Yes, it does. Although, you still have to have all the tools.
I suppose.
And there's not loads of space for having every single size of torque wrench that you might want. So, it's nice to have the confidence when you get somebody out to come and help fix it, that they're not going to screw you or, tell you that this gubbins needs fixing and actually it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, you know enough.
Yeah, that does help.
Yeah.
And I think being mechanically minded and having the boat in general with the maintenance and moving it and working locks and things like that probably helps.
Yeah. And so people are bound to ask, how do you manage to dye quantities of yarn whilst living on a 60-foot narrowboat? Is it 60 foot?
60 foot, yeah. If you don't know narrowboats, that's nearly the longest you can get. You can get bigger ones, but they're restricted in where they can go on the network.
So it's 60 foot by how wide?
Internally, it's 6 foot wide.
That's less than I am tall. I couldn't
So
lie sideways in your boat.
No.
That's a good measurement. Less than 1 Zoe wide.
Yes. So it's like living in a corridor.
Yes.
In a sense. I do the dyeing in the kitchen, which is probably the same size as the kitchen you'd find in a small flat.
Oh, okay. So it's not impossibly tiny. It's just compact.
Yeah, it's got like a walkway down the middle and then work surfaces either side.
Yeah.
So we have to kind of clear all of the food stuff for the day when I'm dyeing, and then I do the dyeing.
So you cook everything for the day first and then clear everything out?
Not that organised.
I was thinking that is organised.
But I can't have food. You can't have the food and dye stuff in the same
separate pans and
all separate pans, which all get stacked up when I'm not using them. So so we just have to try and organise our days so that we're not trying to do food stuff at the same time as dye stuff.
Yeah.
And then drying is probably the biggest challenge. When the weather's nice, we can just hang the yarn off the side of the boat.
But you lost some the other day, didn't you?
Oh yeah, that was the first time.
Oh no.
People always say, don't you ever drop it in the water? I'm like, no, never. And then
you lost one.
Yeah. We were moving the boat and it was a beautiful day, bright sunshine and just nice breeze. We thought that's going to be perfect for drying yarn, so we hung it all out.
Yeah.
And then it started raining and the boat's moving and you have to walk along the gunnels, which are about that wide.
Yeah.
Can you see? About that wide, as in skinnier than a foot.
Yeah.
And you have to walk along them and sort of lean on the cabin side because you need your hands free to unhook all the yarn. And
that sounds very precarious.
Yeah, I looked down at my hands and there was a hook that didn't have any yarn on it, and it was very sadly floating away.
You want to get yourself a pole with a hook on the end, like the hooker duck stands you get at fun fairs, and you could just pick it off.
Maybe. They probably all get stuck to each other.
Yeah. But think of it as a sacrifice to the canal gods.
Yeah, it was the mermaid colourway.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, mermaid. So it's the most appropriate colourway to have a watery end.
Yeah. Ritual sacrifice, like Anglo-Saxons used to. Throw your most prized goods in.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, that was a bit sad.
Yeah.
And Marcus said he's going to dock it from my wages as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Which I thought was a bit mean.
Oh, well.
He's sitting there giggling.
Yeah, we've got a small audience, which really helps. So you managed to restock after day one.
Mm-hmm.
What are your favourite 2 things on the stand, or what sold the best today?
So because you told me the questions earlier and I was thinking about this, and I was going to say that my new colourway was one of my favourite things.
Has it all gone?
But it's all gone.
Oh, that's brilliant though.
Which is good. But I can't. That means I can't show you it.
You can't show it.
Well, what I can show you is the collaboration yarn from Sarah from Baby Longlegs. That's definitely one of my favourite things because that was a really great experience. Shall we hold some up?
Yep.
And they've got naughty names.
Have they all got naughty names?
They've got quite naughty names, some of them.
Let me have a look. No, that's fine. If you see anything dirty in these names, it's you, okay? There's no swears, so you don't need to worry.
No swearing.
If you hold them in the cameras by there, and then they can see. So this is the purple one, and what's that one? Oh, that's On a Promise.
On a Promise.
Green one
is Snirk.
And then this one on the end.
Well, this is Filth Wizard, and the person who named it said because it's into a bit of everything.
Okay.
So there we go.
So what's the yarn base on this?
Right, it's Superwash BFL.
Oh,
Blue-Faced
lovely.
Leicester, and it's a really lovely yarn.
So did Baby Longlegs join you on the canal boat, or?
I went to Baby Longlegs.
Oh, nice.
So we moored up near where she lives.
Okay.
And I went and we worked in her studio.
Was that nice? Lots of extra space?
It was so weird. There was so much space.
Oh, love you. I bet it was fun though.
Yeah, it was good fun. It was really intense, and I think we both found it quite strange kind of sharing our tips and tricks.
Yeah.
And seeing the differences in how we work and finding a way to work together.
I suppose so many indie dyers are self-taught. It's just mucking about with colours. You know, and so to see how someone else does it must be really interesting.
Yeah, there was a funny difference in that. She won't mind me saying this. So I weigh everything, and that's part like with the dyes, and that's
so you have very strict recipes.
Very strict, and that's partly because of being on the boat and being conscious of what I'm like tipping away when I've finished.
Right.
I need to know that I've exhausted. All of the colour, all of the dye. And if I'm doing repeatable colourways, then I need to make sure that's consistent. So, and it's the engineering brain.
Yeah.
So I weigh everything, even when I'm playing. I'm like, I've put this much, dye on that.
Yeah.
Sarah just she's amazing at mixing colour, just like that. She just opens her pots, and like me, she mixes a lot from primary colours. And she just comes out with these amazing colours. But
we were much freer. But were you a bit like?
I was like,
write it down.
And I felt after a while that I had to start like hiding my scales so she couldn't see me doing it. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm just being the engineer in the corner. I'll just
don't mind me.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, it was really good and really intense. But by the end, we had kind of learned each other's styles, and we were merging them and coming up with new things. So it's really quite inspirational for.
I hadn't thought about your issue of what you do with the water, because you are such a self-contained living unit. You can't just go sloshing things either into the cartridge in the boat or over the side. You've got to make sure it's all sorted, and of course you have to you have water tanks on the boat.
Yeah, we have a water tank on the boat, which there are regular water points along the canal side, so you can fill it up. But yeah, obviously dyeing uses a lot of water, so we have to fill up quite regularly.
Yeah.
So I have had one occasion where I was dyeing and I literally ran out of water, and we had to move the boat and fill up with water so it could carry on. I think that's only happened once. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and you had fun in the snow. You did snow dyeing, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was that March or?
I think it must have been February.
Was it February?
Yeah. Oh no, it was in March, wasn't it? Because it snowed.
It was the beast from the east.
Yeah, ridiculous weather. And there were massive snowdrifts, and we were completely frozen in.
Yeah.
So then we had to really start conserving water.
Yeah.
So we started melting snow. It didn't actually.
Post-apocalyptic yarn colourways.
Oh. So that was good fun. But yeah, trying to use what we've got around us.
Yeah. So efficiency and measuring and planning.
Yeah, have to really. Yeah, and have lots of little water saving tricks that I employ when I'm working, and then when I was working with Sarah, I realised I didn't have to worry about it.
Just got taps.
Yeah, just open the tap and use as much as you need. So
Oh, that sounds like it was really good fun.
yeah, it was really good fun. Yeah, so that's definitely one of my favourite things on the stand.
And has she got some of this on her Baby Long Legs website as well, or have you got the lot?
No, I've got all of it.
You ran away cackling with all the
Yes,
yarn,
I've got
really
all the
slowly,
yarn.
4 miles an hour on your canal boat.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the worst getaway vehicle
It really
ever.
is.
Oh,
I've got visions of her chasing you down the canal.
she might be.
She wouldn't need to chase us. She could just walk alongside the boat. Give me my yarn back.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah.
I'll give you those back because I'm attached to the microphone. Right, and then last question. What are you knitting?
What am I
You're at a
knitting?
show, you've got snatches of time. What did you bring?
Okay, well, I brought sock. I literally finished this sock this morning.
Oh,
So I can show you the new colourway,
that's true. It's just knitted up.
but it's knitted up. It's attached to another one, so I'll just hide that there. But yeah,
So what's this one called?
the yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a new colourway called Navi. By way of explanation, it's short for navigators, who were the men who dug and built the canals.
Oh, okay.
And the colour inspiration is, those red brick bridges and
Yeah.
the water and the sky. And
I think there's a picture on your Instagram, isn't there? You put up in
There
the last
is,
day
yeah.
or two,
Yeah.
and it's a shot of the yarn and then sort of an inspiration photo, and you
Yeah.
can really see it.
yeah, so that's. I just cast on the second sock,
Yeah.
and then because we sell the Addy Crazy Trio needles.
Oh, yes.
People wanted to try it, so other people have been knitting my sock this afternoon. So I need to
I don't
unpick
know how
it
I
all
feel
and-
about that. No.
They said, "Is it all right?" Yeah, but I'm going to unpick what you've done.
Yeah, I think I'd have to have a separate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And is that your pattern as well?
Yeah, that is my pattern.
What's the pattern called?
It's called Wavewalking socks.
And where can people find that?
You can find that on Ravelry.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. I'll leave some
Or you
links
can
down below.
find it in the shop, the online shop as well.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And I like
Ravelry is nice.
it's cabled, the ribbing's cabled as well, which is fun.
Yeah, it's a little lace rib kind of thing. And what you can't see very well, but you can see it better when you wear it, is that there are eyelets in the cable down
In the middle
there
of the
as well.
cables.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. And that's not too complicated to knit on the stand.
No, but it is if people come and knit it for you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be having that. Oh, well, brilliant. Thank you very much for spending some time with me this afternoon.
Thank you.
I will leave details of everything down below, and your website is
www.riverknits.co.uk.
brilliant. So go and have a look. Thank you very much.
Thank you.